Welcome back everyone to Old Man Wisdom. It's currently Friday the 4th of February 2022 and I'd like to welcome especially all 400 of you lovely subscribers to the channel and of course all you new listeners as well. What we're going to focus on again this evening is the EURUSD, and you'll notice here this little blue rectangle represents where the trading week started on the 1 hour chart. We had a buy signal here when the MACD crossed over the 3 pip mark that I've plotted here in blue, but because price was under the moving average we didn't take the buy. As is often the case, price of course shot up in the direction we wanted. So we missed this trade and there were no other trading opportunities. Last week there wasn't either, and the previous week you'll notice that we missed this trade here as well because price was above the moving average, whereby the MACD gave us a sell signal, so we didn't take it. However, it would have been a good one. So this is the third week in a row where no trading opportunities have arisen, and of course that means that no profit or loss was made in the last 3 weeks. What I will just very briefly focus on is what we could expect price to do for next week. It's possible that price will come down to around the moving average area and then make a new high. As price does this, the MACD generally follows suit, and we want the MACD to come down and then go up and give us the buy signal. Now, like I say, we don't know if this will happen, but of course that's what we would like price to do for next week. For those of you who are interested in price action, for the last few weeks we've been plotting these highs and lows as price came down on the EURUSD, and I'd like to just highlight this area here. This was a key turning point, and I wondered if any of you spotted it. If we zoom up a little, we can see that price came down, made a small high, a lower low, and then the next high broke through the previous high. And it was at this pullback, when it failed to break the low here, that we might have thought about buying around about this point here. Now the reason I say this was a key area is because on all the previous lower lows, you'll notice that the highs never broke the previous high. It was what you might call a classic downward trend, and it was only at this point, for the first time in over a week, that price broke above the previous high. And this sometimes is what signals a change of trend. So when I saw that price made this high here, where I've put this arrow, it caught my interest. And the reason why price was quite possibly going to pull back to this area is because here's the previous low. Had it have broken this low here, well, that's different. We wouldn't have maybe taken any buy signal. We wouldn't have taken a trade. But because it stalled around this area, which was this low here, then it signalled a possibility of buying. If you'd have bought anywhere in this area, your stop loss would have only been maybe 30 pips. So a very small risk. And of course, well, it's very unlikely we would have held all the way up here. But saying that again, why wouldn't we? It's a good possibility that we would have held all the way to the top. And the reason being is because, again, what we got was a traditional upward trend movement. Just watch this, look, low, high, a new high there. The low didn't break the previous low, so we would have held our trade. Price continues up, and again we had a pullback which didn't break the previous low, and again the next high broke the previous high, so we knew that we were still in a trend. And as the pullback came, it didn't break the previous low, and so on, right the way up here. And now we see a pullback. So what is price going to do? What do we need to see price do in order to assume that the trend will continue? Well, we need to see price break through this previous high. But what if price now breaks this previous low here? Well, maybe we could look at seeing a reversal. We don't know if that's going to happen, but if price broke this previous low, what we would want to see is price fail around this area here, around this previous low. If that was the case, then there's a good possibility of a sell opportunity and a downward trend forming. Or if price continues and breaks this high, we might see the trend continuing up. So you can see here a lovely price action movement on the 1 hour chart. So we want the possibility of having a pullback and a continuation upwards next week when we consider trading with indicators, or if you prefer to trade as a price action trader, we would be looking at these kind of movements from the market. This may well not happen tonight because the markets have only a few hours left before they close, but certainly for next week, you need to keep an eye open in order to see whether trend will continue upwards and break the previous high, or will the start of a downward trend form by breaking the previous low. So in an ideal world, I would like price to do this. Move up and break to a new high, and then come down and break this low. What we're asking price to do is to do exactly what it did down here. It's a mirror image, but in reverse. But if we get the pullback, we want price to stall, and we want to keep our stop loss reasonable. We don't want too big of a stop loss. My maximum stop loss is 50 pips. Of course, your risk tolerance might be greater than mine, or of course, you can lower your lot size and have a slightly larger stop loss. But for me, that's my maximum stop loss, 50 pips. So that's the ideal movement we want in order to see a reversal. So anyway, that's just a couple of possibilities for next week. We have the indicator where we'd like a pullback roughly to the multi-time frame moving average and then a push up, mirrored by the MACD and giving the signal from the MACD as well. Or of course we want to see a reversal pattern whereby we can look to sell. Either way, if you found this video informative in any way, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, then please do. And until the next time, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll speak to you very soon.